He doesn't know where he's at. He got a bath last night and got brushed, and he just wanted to come on and say, hi everyone, happy Easter. Happy Easter. Yeah, he looks enthused, doesn't he? I'll put him down. There you go, bud. So I asked you guys on Facebook, what do you have a question you want to ask us? If there's something you want to know about us, something you want to see. And I came up, well, I didn't come up with it, but Michelle came up with, how did we meet? You know, it was so long ago. Dinosaurs were still walking around. No, just kidding. Okay, long story short, we met, and now we're here. That's the short story. I'll give you a little longer of a story, okay? What year was it? It was September 6th, 2001. My car was packed up and I was headed to Cleveland, Ohio from Port Huron, Michigan, which is it's 50 miles northeast of Detroit, Michigan. So 3 hours later, I arrive and I'm staying with a friend there and working at the hospice house at the time, and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody there, so what did I do? I went on, if you guys remember AOL back in the day, that was how you got online, was AOL. You couldn't get online without AOL. Well, AOL had a site called Love at AOL, and we both had our profiles on there. Needless to say, he found me and he messaged me. So for about a month almost, no, about 3 weeks. I think it was about 3 weeks, we talked on the phone. Back then we had pagers, so you could text, but on a pager. We would talk back and forth. Well, then on October 2nd, 2001, we decided that we wanted to meet. So I had to go to work, so there was a park down the road, so I said, meet me at the park. Because I was always told, you never, when you meet somebody online, you never plan a date with them. You plan a meetup, you know, where you just meet up. That way, if he turned out to be creepy or if I turned out to be creepy, you know, you could run the other way. You're not stuck in a movie. So we met that day, we talked, and I had to go to work, so it had to be a short one. So we talked, we said, we'll talk again. So then I think it was like a week later, we got together, went down by this pier, and he made me look for a guy on a rock. Long story short, there was no guy on the rock. He was being Mr. Funny Guy. All right. So from there, we end up many, many years later here. But I've been asked, how did we get the name Boo? And B-O-U, not B-O-O, but it's B-O-U. Because I was introduced to this coffee company back in Ohio. It was in Akron, Ohio. It was called Caribou. Loved it. And he used to say, oh, you like the caribou more than me. I said, no, I love you as much as the caribou. That's why when they came out with this magnet, I said, you're my Boo now. So that's how we became Boo, or he became Boo. So this is how come he is spelled B-O-U. We're different. What can we say? Yammy, because my name is Tammy, so he just switched it. But we've had very many different nicknames. A couple of mine that he calls me are Cheeks. Oh, Tyler and I, we are two peas in a pod. He's been Peanut Head.
You can stop off Peanut Head.
Should I tell him about the Peanut Head?
Might as well.
All right. We went to a movie one night, and we met up at the movie. Well, he was trying to explain to me where he lived, and I had no idea where it was. I was still new to Cleveland. So I said, well, why don't I follow you back to your place, and then I can go home from there, because I figured I'd find out how to go home. This way, my thinking is, he invites me over again, I can go, or whatever, you know. And so we're standing outside talking, and I'm like, yeah, you're really actually quite close to where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. And he says to me, I'm not gonna kiss you. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I said, I wasn't gonna kiss you. I got in the car to leave. He was everything and a peanut head. I'm like, I can't believe that peanut head had the nerve to tell me he wasn't gonna kiss me. Well, I wasn't gonna kiss his peanut head anyways.
Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't. So that's how he became Peanut Head, thinking somebody wants to kiss him. You know, he thought he was God's gift to women.
You
No.
know you wanted to kiss me.
So since then, we've been together. We have a son, Tyler, who is Jay's biological son. But he came and he lived with us. So we raised him from the time he was 8 until 18. You know, at 18, when you think you know everything. And then he has another son, Aaron, who we call AJ. He's gonna be 20. Oh, he's gonna be 22 this year, and Tyler's gonna be 25. Wow. That really makes us feel old. So, we had Tyler, so that's how we ended up with a son. And then we had our 3 dogs, you know, Sophie, Chewy, and Zoe. This was my Sophie, my Chewy, and there's my Zoe. All of them loving their puppuccinos. You know, their mama did like Caribou coffee quite a bit. Okay, how did we get to Florida now? That's another story. But I'll tell you. I moved from Detroit to Cleveland. We got together. We moved to Akron. Or actually it was Cuyahoga Falls where we moved to, but it's right next to Akron. And we moved there to raise Tyler because we figured it's not as busy as Cleveland and a better place to raise your children. So we moved out there
And that's my hometown.
Oh yeah, and that's where Jay was born, was Akron. So that's his hometown, and he wanted to go back there. So it was early 2005 when we moved to Akron. And then August of 2005, after 4 years of being together, we decided to get married. So we got married in 2005. Okay, then we go on to 2014. I end up having, no, it was 2012. Started having a lot of problems with my knees and that. And then from 2012 to 2014, I had had quite a bit of surgeries on my knees, on my hands. So we decided that we were gonna move to Florida. So I had my second kneecap replacement, and we decided we would move after that was done, because Cleveland Clinic, they did such great work with my knees. That's who I'd really like to go back to have them when I need a total replacement. So 2014 comes, and we plan a trip for him and I to go to Florida. On our way to Florida, car breaks down right inside Virginia's border. So you couldn't get anything repaired. So after waiting by the side of the road for the longest time, he's like, forget it, let's just go home. Let's just turn around, go back home, and blah, blah, blah. No, we're not going home. We're renting a car. So we got towed to a hotel, blah, 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 blah. Next day, took the car in, we got in the rental, off we went. So we get to Florida the next day. My mom was already in Florida with my sister. So we surprised her at Magic Kingdom. So our first ride that we rode on was the teacups, and it was with my mom. So it was the three of us. It was kind of cool. You know, he kind of got thrown into meeting my mom back when my father had a lung transplant. Not getting into that whole story, but needless to say, Jake, my roommate had brought Jay up to Detroit, because I was in Detroit at the time, at Ann Arbor U of M hospital. The hospital, and he was going to stay the weekend with me, and my mom was still there, but she was going to be going home. So the very first day he met my mom, we all shared a hotel room together, and he's like, I guess that's how I knew it was made. You know, first time meeting my mom, and we're all sharing a room together. They shared their chocolate milk. Mom shared her chocolate milk with him. So now every time they get together and they have chocolate milk, it just brings back wonderful memories. That's why the teacup ride was it was kind of neat, because the first time at Disney with my mom, we rode a ride together. His first trip, yes. I had been there. So first time I went, 74, when I went. And that story, I hear the cutest little story all day. They pushed me in a stroller. I stayed awake the whole entire day. No crying, no whining, no screaming. My mom said I was a perfect angel the whole day. My little halo. Even I couldn't do that with a straight face. And at the end of the night, they returned the stroller. My dad picked me up, and I fell asleep in his arm before he could turn around. And he carried me to the car. So that's a sweet memory I like to remember. So I shared that with you. So 2014, we're back at Disney. And so we hang with my mom that day and the next day, you know, so we have a good time with them. And Jay really loved it. It was his first time ever going to Disney. And it was, I surprised him with the visit, or with the trip at first. I had already contacted his mother about babysitting the dogs for us and everything, and she says yes. I said, he's been working so hard between all my surgeries, taking care of me. I said, I need to do something for him. So I took him to Florida, and he loved it. So come 2015, we have an opportunity to either move to a different place in Akron, or move out of state. And I said, Florida. And he says, okay. So here we are. We move here July 2nd. Yeah, July 2nd, 2015. We moved to Lake Alfred, Florida. I'm sorry, guys. There was nothing nice about that town. Went online, looked, I know. You know, we moved there sight unseen, so we didn't know what we were getting into. Well, wasn't that great? We only stayed there less than 6 months. We finally found a place out, and that's where we've been here since. And, but that place was, this. So we've had our little adventures. I mean, we've always had our little adventures on the weekends. Get in the car and just drive and go, you know, yard sailing, antiquing, all that stuff we used to do. So when 2 of my 3 babies had passed away, Sophie and Chewy, and it was hard for me. I'm not gonna cry either. So we had just Zoe, and he says to me, he'd been watching a lot of YouTube, and Adam the Woo. That's who he first started watching. From Adam the Woo, he found Tim Tracker. So he's like, come on, you have to watch these. So I watched Tim Tracker with him, and I thought, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. I thought, for some reason, I had no idea what YouTube was at that time. So I was learning, and he's like, why don't you do a channel to keep you busy? So I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do, you know? And then we came up with, you know, we love our adventures. We make an adventure out of anything that we do. We make it more fun. You know, just like the other day, our Disneyland Paris, you know, he was upset because you could see the reflection of me in the TV. I didn't care. It was just for fun. You guys know we weren't really there. Everybody knows it was on TV. It was my first little cheesy virtual trip, and I loved it. So that's why I still posted it, because I thought, it's cheesy work, but I'm yammy. I can do that. So we decided, since I'm yammy anyways, it was going to be my adventures. And so I started, wasn't really too much into it the first couple of months. And then after the new year, I said, I'm going to get into it more. And that was the new year of, we just had 20, so 19. New Year's Eve, going into 2019, I decided I was gonna do this. So we started working on it a little bit more. So then I lost my Zoe at the end of 2018. So I kind of got off track with it. But then came hope when we decided that we were gonna wait a year to get another dog, but we started looking around, and I figured it might take us a while to find something, you know. And come March, we were at Magic Kingdom with my sister and her family, when I just happened to scroll on my phone on Facebook, and I find this picture of this little dog. And I'm looking at how this little dog is sitting, and I tell my husband, I said, look. And he's like, yeah. I said, that's gonna be our dog. That's our dog. And I'm showing my sister, and she's like, you know, you guys wanted to wait, but if this is something you wanted to do, she says, do it. Make it happen. So guess what? We made it happen. Now we have Obi. And Obi is so darn spoiled, it's not even funny. He sleeps in bed with us. He goes everywhere with us. And I love it. I love every little inch of that every ounce of that 7-pound dog that he is. He might be even less than that now. He got a bath last night, and I combed him today. And he looks so good. And he smells so good. Now he's worthy of sleeping in the bed. No, he was always worthy. But it's nice when he smells good. So now you can see why I came up with Yammy's Adventures. Because it's always an adventure. And so I'm going to just keep doing my adventures and sharing it with you guys. Anything else you want to know or hear about us, or want me to videotape? And don't forget the sidewalk challenge I put out there. Share that video. Share the video around people. That way we can get a lot of people doing the sidewalk challenge. I still have to work on mine, and I think I'm going to work on it tomorrow. And I'm going to have Boo tape me doing it, so you guys can see. But I can't do any hopping because of these old knees, but I'll figure out something fun I can do. All right, well, I better get going so I can make my plans up and get this video out to you. Sorry it's out late. I wasn't sure what to do today, and it was just kind of a lazy sit back do nothing type of day. But I promised a video every day, so it's here. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Same place, different time. Bye.
Subscribe, like, and hit that bell. Ring.
And come back and see Yammy some more.
Yeah.